What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Errol, the Truth, Spence. Errol Spence, as you guys just saw, that was a picture of Errol Spence showing off his new t-shirt, and it shows that it's strap season, and TC, he's by the door of TC. And TC, you see the two eyes in like he does not want to come out to get slayed, okay? And let me counterpunch. I do recall the last fight Errol Spence went to concerning Terence Crawford, and of course that was a Shawn Porter fight, and I think a lot of people had vested interest in Shawn Porter because he was a PBC fighter fighting on an ESPN platform, and it was somewhat of a competition there and a battle between the networks. Yeah. Because, you know, these guys are real tribal. You know, we've heard Errol Spence saying, I won't fight on ESPN at all. Like something's wrong with ESPN. You know what I mean? These type of things. But that's what people have clinged to. They've clinged to the loyalty of networks. Okay. But nonetheless, he was there. And when he was there, okay, he didn't come and speak his piece, make his claim. He left. Okay, he left with a disgusted look on his face like, this bullshit, you know, and I don't know, only he could tell you what he was mad about, but nonetheless, the job was done. The champ retained the title. He was the unified champ still at that time. He had the WBC and the IBF before getting the WBA. You guys remember because he fought Ugas this year, right? Okay. Well, he didn't even really want any dealings with Terence Crawford. He didn't want to step to Terence Crawford. He didn't want to make anything known on to Terence Crawford that night. He left. Okay, and Terence Crawford replied, like, I didn't even think, he said he would never come to my fights. Right? But he did anyway because, you know, I think and I feel that he wanted Shawn Porter to win, because if Shawn Porter beat Terence Crawford, there would be really no need to fight Terence Crawford again. Really, there will be no reason to fight Shawn Porter unless he wanted that last belt, and it's easier to make that belt with Shawn Porter being the WBO champion. Okay, so, you know, a lot of things, you know, you have to, you know, keep in mind when you're dealing with that particular fight. However, what we do remember about Errol Spence, no, Terence Crawford didn't come into his fight, but the first thing he said after beating Ugas, I want Terence Crawford. Okay, well, if you knew Terence Crawford wasn't in the building, why would you make that known when you know he's not even there anyway? Whereas you were in the building, you, Terence, Shawn Porter, the whole PBC squad, along with all the other ESPN cats, everybody came together to see this big extravaganza, right? And instead of you knowing you were there, knowing, of course, he was there because it was his damn fight, you could have said, hey, I want to fight you. Step up to the ring. Let's make it happen today. That could have sold more than anything else. That's what you call a self-promotion tactic, you know, but it didn't happen. Okay. And him speaking of Terence Crawford that don't want to come out and play, you don't give one of the biggest fights in the U.S. any player, any esteem, or any respect by not giving them guarantees. Okay, who does that? Nobody, you know, that's not even, you know, all these other fights have guarantees except this fight. You know, it tells you, oh, you guys broke? Do you guys need to take a bid at the zone? But I see Al Heyman wants to keep everything in-house, regardless if that house and the roof caves in or not. It doesn't matter as long as he has everybody in. He doesn't care what happens to the house as long as there's everybody's in it. Okay, so this strap season from Errol Spence, I hope it's his words from encouragement, but I just think it's another trolling tactic, honestly, because again, if that fight could be made, it would have already been made. If they wanted it to be made, it would have been made, but it wasn't. So there you go. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Errol the True Spence's new t-shirt taunting Terence Crawford. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.